Hi, I'm Meaco from Meaco, and you're more than welcome here in our offices in Guildford, our little showroom, where we're just going to run you through the features of some of the dehumidifiers. Just so you know what to expect, you get a better idea of what they sound like, what they look like, and what sort of size they are. You can't always get this from the pictures that you see on the website. So we're going to start off with the 10L. This is, if you like, our entry-level dehumidifier. 10 litres a day is its maximum capacity that it can do for you. The sort of customer who would buy the 10L would be someone who maybe is living in a flat or apartment or a smaller house up to, say, 3 bedrooms in size, on the smaller side of a 3-bedroom house. Particularly someone that's already got a tumble dryer, so you're not going to be expecting the dehumidifier to dry the washing for you, particularly once you get into that sort of 3-bedroom house, because the sort of size of the air volume that you get within the house, plus the extra moisture load that's coming from the washing, drying on the clothes horse or the radiators, would probably be a bit much for the 10L. But if you're living in a flat or apartment and you want the 10L to dry your laundry for you, no problem. It does have a button there for drying laundry, and it's perfect for that sort of application. As a smaller dehumidifier, and because of the way we make our dehumidifiers, it's not very noisy. What you can hear now, the camera is about a metre from me or so. That's the sort of noise that the dehumidifier would make. So it's very easy to live with. We've got one of these on our landing outside the bedrooms in our house, just outside the shower room, and it doesn't disturb us at night when everyone's going to bed. No one complains about it. So what you get the 10L, of course. Inside the bucket you'll find a hose. Lots of people ring us up and say, what's the hose for? That's for if you're using it on continuous drainage. So say for example you go away on holiday and you want the dehumidifier to still look after the house for you. Put it on the kitchen side, turn the dehumidifier around, and the little spout by here where it drips the water into the tank, you would just pop the hose onto that spout, let the water drain away into the sink, and then the machine can just work continuously for you whilst you're not around. So this is the way the dehumidifier works. The air comes into the back of the dehumidifier over this filter here and hits some cooling coils that's just behind the filter. The cooling coils, colder surface, condensation occurs, water drips down the cooling coils into a tray here which captures it. That takes it away over towards this side here, and it will drip into the container. So container here, water starts to fill up. Once the air has hit the cooling coils, it's then warmed up and the air comes out to the top of the machine around about 2 degrees centigrade warmer than it goes into the machine. So it has a slight warming effect, but you'd never say a dehumidifier is a heater, but the air that comes out of it is about 2 degrees C warmer than the air that goes in. And that's it really. The control panel on the 10L, nice soft touch controls, only 2 buttons. One here is on off, so that's fairly straightforward, and the button here just allows you to go through our humidistat options. A humidistat, what's that? Well, that's something that tells the dehumidifier what the temperature and humidity is, responds to those humidity readings, and turns the machine off and on depending on whether the relative humidity is above the set point or below the set point. Might sound a bit technical and a bit complicated, but think of it like a thermostat on your radiator. So, thermostat on your radiator, you set it to 22 degrees C for argument's sake. The radiator turns itself off when the temperature is above 22 degrees C, turns itself on when the temperature is below 22 degrees C. That's the thermostat. We tend to be used to those via our central heating, etc. Humidistat, doing exactly the same thing for a dehumidifier, albeit we're thinking about relative humidity and not about temperature. So think of it in terms of stuff that you understand, like the radiators, put it into the dehumidifier, and there you go, not too bad. Different set points that we've got on here, we would recommend that you go for our standard set point, which is where we've got the thumbs up on the control. That's where you'd have it for the majority of the time within a house. Then you've got the 3 droplet setting, which means you're taking more moisture out of the air, and when you've got a cold snap during the winter, the surface temperature of your windows is lower, therefore it's easier for condensation to occur. Go for the 3 droplet setting in those situations, and then there's the t-shirt setting on there which you would use when you want to dry your laundry, and that's when the machine's going to be working its hardest. And all you do to change it is just press the button. You can hear there that I've just changed it into a mode which has turned the machine off, because it says relative humidity is fine on that setting, and every time I press the button you get that little squeak from the dehumidifier to say it's responded. And as I take it back round to the laundry setting, it's just turned itself back on, and it will start to work again, because in the laundry mode it's working as hard as possible for you. Change in noise level from the dehumidifier, which because it's quiet anyway you might not be able to pick up on the camera microphone, but what's happening is that the compressor, when it's turned off, won't turn on again for 3 minutes. So at the moment we've only got the noise of the fan as the air is coming out of the top of the machine here, and the rumble that you get from the compressor you won't get for 3 minutes, because it's in all that protection cycle. If you're ever wondering what sort of noise a rumble from a compressor is when you're thinking about buying a compressor dehumidifier, just leave your fridge door open for 4 or 5 minutes, and what you'll hear is the compressor will kick in on the back of your fridge, and that sort of rumble noise that you get from the compressor on your fridge, that's the same sort of rumble noise that you get from any compressor dehumidifier from any manufacturer at all. Obviously the compressor on your fridge might be larger than the compressor on your dehumidifier, or vice versa, but at least it'll give you an idea of the tone and the resonance that you get from that sort of thing. Talking about resonance, what we're actually doing here is the worst thing that we could do for a compressor dehumidifier. We're running it on a wooden surface. Just like a fridge, they don't tend to like wooden surfaces, because the slight vibration that happens internally within the machine on a compressor resonates on the wooden surface. So if you've got a wooden floor, put a little mat underneath it in order to just soften that, and you'll get less noise, the machine will be quieter. Or put it on a carpet floor, and then you'll get less noise from it as well. But any compressor, whether it be on your fridge or your dehumidifier, will always sound a little bit louder if you've got it on a wooden surface. In terms of looking after your dehumidifier and getting the best from it, very, very simple. Keep the filter clean. Check it every week or so to see how much dirt it's capturing for you, because what if you get a build-up of dirt on here and you're not cleaning it, gravity will take place, it will start to fall internally within the machine. This channel at the bottom here whereby the water runs into the bucket, that will start to get blocked, and just like leaves blocking up our gutters in winter on the house, the channel will overflow, just like our gutters would do if they were blocked with moss and leaves and muck and what have you. And then that's why people get a leak. The only reason you ever get a leak on the dehumidifier is because it's not on a level surface, it's got build-up of dirt inside it, or you've got a crack in your bucket. Those are the only reasons why a dehumidifier ever leak. So keep that filter clean, then you won't have any problems, and you'll get a very long life out of your dehumidifier. And nice and noisy. We have got a message here on all of our Meaco buckets, which is something that is exclusive to Meaco. Just where you put your thumb when you take the bucket out. Have you cleaned my filter to keep me healthy? We try and give you that constant reminder to clean the filter in order to maintain the life of your dehumidifier. You heard the beeping as soon as I pulled the bucket out. When the bucket is full, the dehumidifier will turn itself off. There's a little float inside here which activates the float control on the dehumidifier and will turn the dehumidifier off when it's full. All you've got to do is pour the water away, pop it back in. You might like to give this a clean out every now and again just to stop any mould build up in the corners of the tank. Pop it back in, and again we've started off just in fan only mode, but the dehumidifier, the compressor will kick in after 3 minutes again. Most commonly asked questions that we get from customers once they've got the 10 out is, why does it turn itself off? Why isn't it running? That comes back to that whole thing about acceptable levels of humidity. If the relative humidity has dropped down because the dehumidifier is doing its job, or because you've got the heating on very high, or because the external weather means that the air in your house is a bit drier, then the dehumidifier will turn itself off. Its job is done, and there's nothing for it to do, therefore it won't consume any electricity. When the relative humidity goes back up, the dehumidifier will turn itself on. If you find that you want the air in the house to be drier, then move from that thumbs up mode to the 3 droplets, and if that's still not good enough for you, then move to the laundry mode. You'll find that you'll be asking these sorts of questions in the depths of winter when it gets particularly cold outside and the surface temperature of the glass starts to drop. In terms of electricity usage, well, I've got a little meter on here, and that's reading at the moment around about 195 watts, and that's the sort of consumption that you'd expect from an energy efficient 10 litre dehumidifier like the Meaco 10L. So just under around about 200 watts, around about that sort of figure is what you can expect. Using a dehumidifier is a very energy efficient thing to do. The drier the air is within your home, the cheaper it will be to heat your home, because there'll be less water molecules within the air, less work for the heating system to do in terms of heating up all those water molecules in order to make you feel warm. So that's how the dehumidifier helps you. Not only does it remove and stop condensation, stop mold growth, stop dust mites from reproducing for those of you who have an allergic reaction to dust mites, but also what it's doing is it's making the air drier, which makes it easier for the heating system to do its job, which saves you money. So it's a win-win all the way around. So that's the Meaco 10L. We're very proud of it. For an entry-level dehumidifier, we haven't gone for cheap rotary controls, we haven't gone for thinner, cheaper plastic in order to try and keep the cost down. We've used quality materials throughout. I think it's got a nice look to it. It's very energy efficient, low noise level for a 10 litre, nice soft touch controls, and from our point of view it's very reliable and gives us very few complaints, which also is a good thing for our customers. So that's the Meaco 10L. You can find more at www.meaco.com. If you've ever got any questions, feel free to contact us, and thank you very much for your custom and your interest in Meaco dehumidifiers.